in the 2024 Melbourne Grounds Division 1 Elimination Final. The siren sounds and we are underway. It's going to be Wild and Howard to do the ruck work. Howard getting the tap. Chance there for O'Sullivan and Ferranato. Well, both were held in the contest, so take your pick really as to who gets the free kick. It's going to go to O'Sullivan. And an early win there for the Borough as they look to send it inside 50. So O'Sullivan, defensive side of the centre square. Looks to go towards the near side. Ham, confronted by McCabe, went straight to Anderson. That's a great kick inboard to Cookson. He finds himself in the middle of the ground. Short ball to Perrin. Still outside 50, Hurstbridge. Building things up well. Perrin's a half forward. That kick's okay too. This is Cooper Barbera. He'll chip it inside 50. Does it get to Augusta? It does. And that's the perfect build-up for Hurstbridge if they want to try and get scores against the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the perfect way to start this final term. And it's what Hurstbridge struggled a bit throughout this afternoon, just finding that kick inside forward 50. But they've been able to do so on the first occasion to start this final term. And with the ball in the hand of Kai Augusta, a handy goal kicker, 18 goals this season from his 13 matches.
Augusta, 45-degree angle, 35-metre shot on goal. Has just missed to the right-hand side. And scores are level early in the final term of this elimination final. 5-13 to 6-7 is the difference between these two sides at the moment as Johnston sets sail and Richards. Great mark from the side. Machete gets the handball away to Cookson. He gets a handball over to Liam Middleton, who goes inside 50, but it'll be cut off again by Johnston. His kick out wide, he's pretty solid, but it's going to make work for the big man in Smith, who's just not going to get there in front of Stewart, but the boundary line will help him a lot there. And we'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward for the Borough.
Yeah, Jamie Smith has found himself on a couple of occasions just in a foot race, and it's probably not the ideal spot for a big man, but he would have been very happy to see that ball trickle over the line.
So we have a boundary throw in. Tap from Howard to Hasler, and we'll go again. So stoppage in pretty much the same spot. Scores level in this elimination final. First time they have been since the opening siren. Cam Wild winning the clearance here for Hurstbridge. They'll go towards half forward. Bounce it in favour of McFawn. It did for DeClace, who tried to tap it on to Kent and was unsuccessful. So they're doing everything right so far, Hurstbridge. They're winning the clearances, forcing stoppages when they've got numbers not in their favour. But you'd think a goal at the very minimum will need to be their best chance. They're going to win another clearance here, this time through a free kick before the ball had even been tossed back in. So Machete, centre wing out of side. Left foot ball for Machete. Goes inside 50 to the Kent direction, but standing tall and copping the full front of some Hurstbridge defenders is Sievers. So he'll just be slow to his feet here. Bit of pain, but on his feet.
Sievers, who's been amongst the best for Greensborough this afternoon, played a bit of time up forward, but now in his
Fawn, actually, I should say, that actually took that mark. He's going to hand it off to Aiton Delaney. He goes down the line. Big fly coming and unable to take the mark there. Was the Hurstbridge man? I just missed who that may have been. It was Hymus. Would have been a massive flight, adding to his goal earlier today. Here's Andronacco at the back of the stoppage. Got it over to Hasler. He's ball towards half forward. Not efficient here for Fisher. Picked up by Liam Middleton, who has all the time in the world. Goes through the corridor. Good kick to find McCabe. Called to play on, but he has to go lateral. And then they get it working to Blake Fitzgerald. Takes a bounce on the outer side. Now a second bounce, but an illegal shepherd by Cam Wild sees Greensborough regain possession of the footy. And they'll go to Ferranato. And he's going to switch this ball. Who's going to favour the bounce? Does it favour Smith? It didn't bounce for him either. Richards under pressure. from Fisher. Great stuff from Brindley. He can't get boot to ball, and it's picked up by Stewart. He finds Cam Wild. Low ball is okay for Fitzgerald. Hurstbridge will reset. They'll look towards DeClace. Almost getting a spoil in was McFawn, but DeClace takes the mark. Defensive side of the wing out of side. Wants to go in the middle of the ground. It's a perfect kick to Mitch Machete, whose left foot ball inside 50 is okay, but didn't get to his intended target. Here's James McCubbin. We'll have a ball up. So just on the paint of 50, Hurstbridge goals, score still level. Almost 6 minutes gone in this last term. Wild taps it back. Hasler can't control it. Did so then on that occasion when he got to his feet. Steaming through his Johnston. Handball went to Hymas though. Chance for Cam Wild. Hasler can't get out of the tackle. We'll have a stoppage again.
Hasler's put in a good shift for Greensborough all afternoon. He's probably the one who doesn't necessarily get the accolades of these other fellow midfielders, but he's a workhorse in that Greensborough midfield.
Jake Wild gets the clearance from the ruck. Taps on here for Cookson. Cookson just got the handball away. Barbera goes one way, goes another. Snap on goal, smothered by Sievers. Fantastic stuff from the Borough on the last line of defence. And they'll clear their lines, and Ham under pressure now. Back to Hasler, back to Ham, tight on the boundary. Over to Ferranato, back to Ham, Andronako, Hasler, and the Borough have worked their way out of a phone box here, although not that clean either was O'Sullivan. And, well, it's still going here. Chance for Brindley, and the umpire's hovering. I reckon he's going to pin holding the footy against Richards. He will. No, umpire says I'll have it instead.
And it was almost the perfect handball chain for Greensborough, but Tom O'Sullivan just almost sold it before he had it and couldn't quite take clean possession, and that meant the ball was on centre wing rather than inside their forward 50.
Howard's won a ruck infringement free kick. Can send this ball deep inside 50 with the wind advantage, but standing in the hole and taking intercept mark is Liam Middleton. They want to go corridor, just bounced in front of Fitzgerald, but it worked okay. Got the handball away to Richards. Richards picks it up on the bounce also. DeClace has been enormous on that wing on the outer side in this last quarter. Takes another mark and will just chip it for Blake Fitzgerald.
DeClace has just been that key part of the chain in transition for Hurstbridge.
Got the kick away to Cookson. Cookson plays on from 55 out. That ball hangs high in the air and will be okay for Greensborough to take another intercept mark. Here's McFawn again. No, it was Howard doing the defensive marking there. Went through the hands of Hymas. Trying to get there is Fisher. Off the ground now is Brindley. Bridges with numbers. Stewart, Hymas, and Dane Middleton marks. Middleton chipping ball, not a great one. Intercepted by Ferranato. Hasler, Ferranato. Down the line he goes. Not too many options. Richards went for the footy, dropped the mark. Middleton caught in the tackle.
Just a few erred possessions there from Hurstbridge. Dane Middleton would have liked to have found one of two free teammates just on that wing, but instead the ball's turned over. But you feel like just in the last couple of minutes, the intensity has lifted from both sides as scores remain level. 9
minutes into this last term, Ferranato emerges from the pack. Just had to handball it inside 50. Clean bowled a one-on-one inside 50 for the Borough. Here's McCubbin, tight on the boundary, goes towards goal, and it bounces just inside the field of play. We'll have a boundary throw in deep inside 50 for the Borough.
And now when you look to some of the small forwards, if you're a Greensborough fan, Brody Glenn, looks like Zach McCubbin will hover around this contest as well. The ball may just spill out to one of those and present an opportunity which would be golden at this point in the last quarter.
Smith gets the tap, spills away for Stewart, can't concede. High ball, Cookson almost got there, but taking the mark is Walsh. Walsh will kick from 60 out, tight on the boundary. Opts to centre to kick instead. Players looking in the sun, almost taking the mark is Fisher. Padham, lost the footy. McCall looking for Kent, intercepted. Padham didn't get control of the footy. Taylor. And we'll have a ball up. 55 out from the Greensborough goal. Rucks go at it again. Wild out of that ruck, straight to Johnston. He just knows where to be. He reads the footy so well. Now, with this kick, where does he go? Right in the middle of Preston City Oval. Deep, inside 50 entry. All the way out the back, almost for Brindley. Still a chance for Hasler. Plain. And they will concede now, Hurstbridge. 1 point lead for Greensborough. 10 3/4 minutes into the last term.
Hurstbridge were a little hesitant to take that ball over the goal line, but they know if they're going to win this match, they're going to have to kick a goal. So they, in the end, just choose to concede.
The clearance goes towards the broadcast side. Off hands from Perrin. Walsh at the bottom of the tackle. Umpire says, give it to me.
And the tackling pressure has really increased from both sides as things become a little more nervous for both sides in this elimination final.
That's another free kick infringement against Wild. So Howard will kick this footy 60 out from goal. Sends it towards the Smith direction. Went straight through his hands. Imus will absorb the tackle.
It's dangerous times for Hurstbridge. The ball deep inside their defensive 50.
11 and a half minutes gone. Glenn tight on the boundary. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, he was. It didn't need to occur for the Bridges because he was going out of bounds anyway with the momentum. But Brodie Glenn is looking for goal number 4. And it would be the toughest of them all if he could nail it from the boundary line. He kicked 4 against Hurstbridge only a month ago. He's been in terrific goal-kicking form in the second half of this season. He's looking for his 40th goal of 2024. Glenn comes in across the face of goal. Out of bounds on the full.
And so it was always going to be a tough shot there for Brodie Glenn. He had to go the check side, and it was a very difficult kick for a right footer.
So the Bridges will look to reset. Heim is called to play on after stepping off his mark. They kick it away. 2 Borough players went up. McCall at the bottom of the contest will have a ball up. 12 3/4 minutes gone. There's only been 2 behinds kicked in this game, and the Borough lead by just a point, which is what they did at 3/4 time. Bridges have other ideas. Machete clearing ball towards half forward. There's nobody home. It's a foot race. Bounces okay for Walsh. Spills now to Anderson. Anderson on the paint of 50 has got a vacant goal square. Kent's running back. Kent takes the diving mark, and from directly in front can put Hurstbridge back in the lead at the halfway mark of this final term. Nick Kent, who has done some work in the ruck, who is taking the role of Joel Naylor today, can get a rare goal against the wind from directly in front. Nick Kent strolls in and puts Hurstbridge in the lead. They move to 6-13-49. Greensborough 6-8-44. And not only against the wind, but against the run of play, Tim, which now puts Hurstbridge in a good position.
That was such a crucial goal for Hurstbridge. Caelan Anderson did so well, just wheeling around on the paint of 50. And Nick Kent did even better, just a dive in desperation to take that mark. And it's really against the run of play, as you mentioned, Nick, because Greensborough had that ball locked up inside that forward 50, couldn't find an opportunity to put it through the big sticks, and now Hurstbridge reclaimed the lead.
Over to you, Greensborough. Andronacco caught holding the ball. The Bridges starting to get on top now in this contest. They're not letting the wind deter them. Jake to Cam Wild. And he will just go laterally as well to Dane Middleton. Certainly not at the point of possession just yet, but Happy to just build up some play. Great kick to Perrin with a nice mark.
And this is the kick Hurstbridge have struggled with all day. This long kick inside forward 50. So you'd be wanting some of their forwards to really present and lead here, because it has traditionally been a pretty stagnant forward line.
Perrin gives it off to Dane Middleton, who gets it to Cookson. Cookson still outside 50. So Will Cookson, close to the boundary. He's going to set this one up. Hangs in the air again. Great intercept mark. This time it came from Howard. That handball was very dangerous. But Greensborough get away with it with a high contact free kick.
Oh, hospital hand pass there, and Greensborough lucky to get a get out of jail free card.
Johnston to Andronacco. Finds Zach McCubbin. So McCubbin's at half back now. Sends this one long down the line. Richards flew, got hands to it. Dane Middleton shrugged the tackle. Hymas just got the handball away. Picked up here by Howard. His kick cut off though by Stewart. Stewart's kick cut off instead as well. Greensborough are going to move. They send it very high, inside 50. Tough one to mark for anybody. At the back of the pack, Glenn can't get there. Rush behind. 6:9:45 Greensborough, but they trail Hurstbridge 6:13:49. The difference is 4 behinds. And Hymas directs his men to go towards the outer side. There's a free kick going to Greensborough. I'm not sure what that was. Off ball, obviously, but I think Farinato's got the footy here at centre half forward.
And he'll kick this if the ball doesn't indeed go to him.
No, it is. It's a free kick to Greensborough, but it's going to Brody Glenn, who is directly in front. So again, not sure what it was, but a vital error from Hurstbridge. So Brody Glenn will all but certainly kick his 4th goal. He's directly in front, and he'll give Greensborough back the lead. Approaching time on in the final term, and he pokes it home. Well, ill discipline has had a big factor in this final, Tim, and it's poked its head up again. Brody Glenn gets the 4th goal of his game. And Greensborough, 7:9:51, take the lead over Hurstbridge, 6:13:49. We're 18 minutes gone last two.
Yeah, it's happened multiple times. And just an incredibly costly turnover for Hurstbridge. And Brody Glenn, yet again, coming on the end of it, kicking his 4th goal for this match. And going into time on, now Hurstbridge have got their backs against the wall here.
2 points the difference. 18 and a half gone. Final term of this elimination final. Tap from Wild. Looking for Cam Wild. Picked up by Greensborough. Andronacco sends it again inside 50. McCubbin, a tough one for him to mark. Just went over his head. Foot race now. Brody Glenn gets there but lost his footing. Hurstbridge with numbers, but Greensborough, great pressure to get that ball towards the boundary line. We'll have a stoppage, 55 out from the Borough goal. Wind still favouring Greensborough at the moment. They have a 2-point lead. Tap from Howard. Just got boot to ball. But it's going to be cleared away by Greensborough. On the run is Fitzgerald. Wild. Here's Cookson. Here's Machete. Almost ran down but got it over to DeClace. DeClace takes the bounce at Preston City Oval and chips it beautifully to Kent, who can play on. 35 out from goal. It's across the face. O'Brien, was he impeded upon? Umpire says no. Greensborough cleared their lines, but only momentarily, although Brindley did really well to keep possession for his side. And they go down the line with this kick. Push in the back, though, was Jake Richards. We're about to tick into time on, Tim, and it's dangerous stages for both teams.
It's getting really intense now. The feeling's gone up. 2 points to difference. This is everything an elimination final is about.
Richards to half forward. It lands okay here for Wild. Jake Wild now, 65 out from home. Sends a floating ball towards half forward. Almost a mark. Still a chance for either side if they're clean enough. Johnston, another clearing kick. Just had to get boot to ball, but Jake Wild again with another mark. 20 and a half gone last term. 2 points of difference. Jake Wild just sends it as long as he can. Flyers go up. Who's at ground level? More importantly, another clearance though from the Borough. It's all the Bridges. Chance for McCabe. Does that chipping ball get there? It does. No. Umpire says play on. Smith with the intercept. Padham. They have to go backwards here. Brindley gets a clearing ball. Doing well is Howard, but it's all Hurstbridge. They'll play on. Hymus in the middle of the ground. Has to handball laterally. Richards. That chipping ball will be okay to Machete. Machete will play on left foot ball towards the inside 50 area. Johnson, courageous. Intercepted it enough to get it to Ferradato. James McCubbin. Handball away now to a teammate. That handball inboard not great. Hymus and Ferradato comes in hard. We have a ball up, 21 and a half gone last quarter.
Hurstbridge working so hard behind the ball just to keep that ball inside their forward half of the ground, but the ball sits at centre wing now.
Jake Wild coming through hard. He's Kai Agosta. Clearance from Smithy smothered. Cookson takes it. Cops a high, contact free. Lets it go. Left foot ball. High, hanging in the air. Oh, Agosta! Running back with the flight on the foot. He takes a brilliant mark. Waste no time. Inside 50 he goes. Almost to Clace. Aidan Delaney. O'Sullivan. And Greensborough do enough for now. They'll clear it out of the defensive 50. They go towards the broadcast side, downfield. And Zach McCubbin will have it. Centre wing broadcast side. One more goal would be enough for the Borough, you would think. Zach McCubbin sends it as deep as he can. Here comes Howard. Almost. Couldn't take the mark. Tries to push it forward. Umpire says give it to me. Inside 50 for the Borough.
Oh, and what an important moment this is at the centre clearance. You feel another goal for Greensborough could just about be fatal to the Bridges season.
Off the ground goes Howard, looking for Ham. It might ricochet for Ham. He's still got it. Handball out wide. McCubbin has to spin back. Just gets boot to ball, and it just registers a behind. And the margin is at 3 points in favour of Greensborough. Hurstbridge have to move. Hymus, Fitzgerald. Now a chance here from Middleton. His handball wasn't great. It's going to be one back by Greensborough, who just sent a big torp inside towards the Smith direction. Foot race will favour Plain, although the boundary line's going to beat him here. Boundary throw in, inside 50.
And it's got to feel there'd probably be about 2 or 3 minutes left on the clock. It's not long left at all. Every moment vital.
23 and a half gone last term. Tap from Howard. Clearance again by Jake Wild. He's been great in that role today. Chance for Plain. James McCubbin got the kick towards the top of the goal square, but Richards marks. They've got to move now to Bridges. It's do or die. Mark taken by Jack Stewart. Defensive pocket. Dangerous kick. Mark dropped though by Agosta. Chance now for Howard. Can he give him the knockout blow? No, he's missed to the left-hand side. The door still slightly open for Hurstbridge. 4 points of difference now. I'll go towards the outer side. Chance for Middleton. Takes a bounce and takes on his opponent well, but that kick's going to almost be cut off if it lands for Sievers. He ran out of room but got boot to ball. It's a dangerous tackle anyway. And Sievers can just slow things down at half-back for Greensborough.
So Hurstbridge are probably going to have to play one-on-one footy, man up, try and cause the turnover. They've probably got enough time, but for Greensborough. They'll be looking for every spare they've got to soak up these precious last seconds from the clock.
25 minutes gone. The Borough have gone down in their last 3 games to Hurstbridge. But could they win the one that matters most? Ferranato got a handball out. Now Hurstbridge are streaming forward here in the middle of the ground. Fitzgerald takes a bounce. Inside 50 is Stewart, but the ball didn't hang for him. And intercepting is Fisher.
That wind, had it not been for the wind, that ball was over the top and Stewart was in on goal.
So they go towards centre wing now, Greensborough. And that's your siren. Greensborough survive and have won their first Division 1 final in 5 years to advance to the first semi-final. But it's not without its heartbreak for Hurstbridge, who was so close to winning their first ever final in the top flight. But the Borough hold on and will take on North Heidelberg next week in 7 days' time. Full time at Preston City Oval. Greensborough 7-11-53 defeat Hurstbridge 6-13-49.